Now, this is the reporter's angle, and as always, we promise you nothing but an exciting 15 minutes here on Joy News. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano. Today, we take a look at a man who has been at the center of controversy. He is poised to win the December election, but what use is his poise if his own people want him to step down? His own people doubt whether he would even vote for himself in the December election, but he is not perturbed, but focused on his campaign of retiring his father and two brothers. Believe it or not, he became the agenda when IEA organized 2 presidential debates. He has added new words to the long list of Ghanaian jargons. We have unprecedented, gargantuan, and the Woyomegate words. Now, Rollins has also found a new vocabulary in his inspiration.
I have a great deal of respect for Ayariga Cough. I guess we're going to have to call the Ayariga cough the designer cough. Unfortunately, you know, it lacks the base of, you know.
Now, in the course of the program, I would Ayarify you, and I bet you're struggling to crack that. But let's not look at the man, Ayariga, the man of peace, and assess what he has to Ghanaian politics.
Out of nowhere, Hassan Ayariga burst onto the political scene. But this picture shows he has been a PNC baby for a long time. He defeated Edward Mahaman, who has been flag bearer and represented the party for many years, but performed abysmally.
Edward N. Mahama, 426. Hassan Ayariga, 483. So Hassan Ayariga is the presidential candidate elect for the PNC for the 2012 general elections.
I want to congratulate the candidate-elect, Mr. Hassan Ayariga. I wish him well, and I hope that what I couldn't do, he will do for the party and take us to the castle.
I want to assure you today that this is the first time in the history of this country that a 40 years young man is a presidential candidate.
Indeed, Hassan Ayariga is doing something that Edward Mahama could not do. His candidature brought hope to the PNC, but after he welcomed the late Preston Mills from the US in August, his party started doubting his loyalty. Then Hassan Ayariga went to the IEA to spell out his vision for the nation. Arguably, NDC and MPP, the biggest parties in the country, were swamped by Ayariga. He made it to the top with his humor.
Thank you very much.
We all believe that the economic growth with the discovery of oil, the economy will grow. But when you discover oil and you give it out to a foreigner, the economy will not grow. Because the foreigner will take the proceeds of the oil revenue to his country, and you will be paying deficits. And your sea and your water bodies will be all contaminated with oil distance. Let's have our students to be more talented so that we can export the brain drains and recover natural foreign exchange and more of our doctors. We can equally generate enough loans here to give to Cote d'Ivoire, to Burkina Faso. But when we don't believe in ourselves, we'll definitely go out to China looking for 3 billion loans, or we'll go to, what did you want the last time? 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 Obama said we can't. But Ayariga says, yes, we are ready. Over the years, we have been producing avoidable graduates instead of absorbable graduates.
The plan was led in its making by SHRAG. And our view is that the remit of SHRAG
is far too broad.
And we think it's a good plan. It's going to strengthen the fight against corruption in this country. The major plank in this plan.
But his party executives called him names and have since then been calling for his head.
For this election, certainly our candidate has turned himself into a comic relief, a political comic relief, really not doing what he must do to convince the ordinary people. And honestly, the height of my conviction was served yesterday at the IEA debate. I was more than convinced that Ayariga is a joke for the 2012 election, and for that matter, he can't lead the PNC into victory.
The actions of our flag bearer have actually wind away every respect, every confidence people had in the People's National Convention. It appears the flag bearer is now even bracing himself to get us into more crisis. I think it was a huge, gargantuan, unforgivable, inexcusable mistake.
But he remained resolute. At the recent Kumasi Peace Declaration, he made some declarations.
We must show some sense of humor. We must make Ayari Gate Ayari Gate, I give you the meaning of the word Ayari Gate. Ayari Gate is somebody who can make a whole nation laugh, smile, and joy.
Certainly, Ayariga has warmed the hearts of many. His name would go down in history, whether he retires his father or two brothers.
By my father, my brothers, and my brothers going home. Going home to rest. We are retiring them. We will give them a beautiful retire package. The one that they will not be worried. The PNC government will make sure that our lives and our economy
Right, so his own party describes him as a joke, a political relief, and he hopes to make us a laugh, smile, and joy. Whatever that means, whatever those strings of words mean. Gifty Ando-Appiah is here with me. She's been following the IEA debate, and I want to find out from her, really, after the first IEA presidential debate in Tamale, how was he received here in Accra?
Well, I can't really speak to how he was received here in Accra, but I would say that initially, for the very first IEA debates, because that it was the first time, so everybody knew him as a PNC flag bearer and all. And anytime he came up, it was like, yeah, one of the presidential candidates. But after that, after his performance at the first IEA debates, if you remember, he started well. And then initially, as the time went on, he started with the observable and
avoidable
graduate, and then started with the grammatical errors and started creating humor. I think he lost his line of thought. Then the second time, everybody had then come to know him, you know. So you had this Ayarigated and all those words on Facebook and all over the social media. So then people had come to know him. So people just saw him, and you know, the one thing that stands out was laughter.
Everybody starts to, and that's what he says.
Yes. What he calls humor.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. The one person who can make you laugh, smile, enjoy. And so he's probably achieved what he's set out to.
Yeah, well for me, there are two schools of thought. There's one that sees him as an quote, not so serious candidate, because they think that, hey, this is serious business. I spoke to one of the guys in the arts, KOD, and was telling me, seriously, like he says that this is serious business. The presidency is serious business. So what are you doing here?
But can't we have a president with a little more humor?
Exactly.
And that is such a bad idea.
That is where the second school of thought comes in. He said that the second school of thought is that, well, in this political atmosphere, when there's so much tension, we need a replacement for Dan Lartey of the GCPP to make people laugh.
Right, now, there's something on the screen, and you know when before the debate here in Accra, he had complained that he wasn't too well. And then also he wanted to mourn the late vice president. And after he had coughed a bit on our sister radio station, Joy FM, then this came up, Ayari cough, which obviously is now the name of a cough syrup.
Indeed, people thought that it was fake. People thought that it was fake, but the man said he wasn't well, and he wanted to. I mean, you guys had to see that he wasn't well, so people thought that it was fake. And people thought that he did that at a particular time, which I wouldn't want to comment about. But then people thought it was fake. But indeed, come to think of it, this has made this man really popular. It has really caught up with the youth. He says he's a youthful president. So he really caught up with the
while in Tamale, he was the most spoken about candidate on Twitter, on Facebook. And I thought it gave him a lot a head start, except I don't believe the PNC has capitalized on that. What do you think about this?
You see, the PNC has not capitalized on that because they think that he's not being serious. They think that he's not being serious. But indeed, Mr. Alban Bagbin of the NDC has described him as a man with talent and ideas. And he says that the only problem he sees with Ayariga is that he finds it difficult to express himself. But Dr. Arthur Kennedy of the NDC has also said that he thinks that the guy has really caught up with the political atmosphere because he's fairly new. He's fairly new to the political scene. But the man thinks that the guy is pulling up his weight.
I thought he was the most confident candidate during the Tamale debate. You were there. Tell me about body language comparing Ayariga to the rest of the candidates, the other three.
Body language. Talk about body language. I wouldn't say he was normal. The first time I saw him followed by his wife. They went to the holding room to meet the other people. I mean, it was really normal. But then I think at a point he was really, not himself. He was,
Observing as a reporter, do you think all these funds he's getting on social media all over the place could translate into votes for him?
You see, there's one thing that we shouldn't underestimate. We shouldn't underestimate the fact that people, we have first-time voters, people who have just turned 18.
Right.
And if in our cultural context, you're 18, you're expected to have been mature. You're expected to be a mature person. But I won't be surprised if someone votes for Ayariga because he makes them laugh. People, indeed, we live in a stressful world. We live in a stressful world. So if people think that they want to laugh,
a president with a bit more humor.
Of course, I mean, if you look at the trend, if you look at the trend, the races between the NDC and the MPP, if you look at the trend, it is. But then you never know. Surprises always happen.
I'm sure they do. And thanks for joining us on Reporters Angle. Now that's it for this evening. Send us your compilation of some of the worst that you believe that Ayariga has contributed to the Ghanaian long list of jargons on our social media platforms, www.facebook.com/Joy News on TV or on Twitter @Joy News on TV. That's all for today. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano, but here's something to munch on.
Udru Junction no ko kaneshi. Oba flow kan no so kwa je no ho. Ode oba fia.